Hello and welcome to the Wake Up Podcast. I am Ben Kaysen here with our COO, Erin Gust. How are you doing today?
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. What do you think about that COO? Tell me a little bit about that.
It's an honor, really. I mean, I've gone through the different stages with the other businesses, but to be labeled that, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I do a lot of that already, just because it's my natural ability. I'm like, all right, let's figure out what we can do, how I can help him with the other businesses. So just kind of it works and it flows,
Sure.
and it's fun.
That's cool. Yeah, and you're definitely amazing at it. I mean, you're balancing it with what? Wake Up Pueblo, Snap Fitness in Pueblo, and Snooze Mattress, correct?
Yes.
That's crazy. Woman of many hats right now.
Yeah, and I've actually had more. There was other businesses as well. So now
Really?
it's these three at the moment. Yeah, because I also helped him with Pure Spa, Pueblo's Best Carpet, and I'm thinking there's something else, but I think that's it. Yeah.
So you've been working with Matt for a long time. So can you tell me a little bit about like what that's like? I mean, I've been working with him now for like 3 months, and I think a good way to describe Matt is like he's a tornado. He's got a lot of ideas. He goes really fast, does a lot of things. What's it like working with him and the COO role?
He's a ball of energy for
Yeah.
sure. How to work with him?
Yeah. What's that relationship like?
That's a loaded question for sure. He has a passion and a love for everything that he does, and it definitely translates to his staff, his businesses, and even his home life. Jenny and the kids. So it's nothing different of it. It's him.
Yeah.
It's just all Matt. That's what when you see Matt, there's excitement, energy, enthusiasm, passion for Pueblo and obviously his family, but he has the love of his teams as well. He's one of those guys. He will get in there. He grinds and does anything and everything. He's willing to help. He pushes and motivates you as well. So then there's you're always going to that next mile, that next thing. But then on the other side of that too, Matt he's a ball of energy where you have to learn to roll with whatever that ball is going to, because sometimes you can just throw something out at you. Oh, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this. All right, let's figure out how we're going to do it. So yeah, it's just one of those, you have to figure out which direction you're going in, or even try to forecast where he's going and kind of meet him in that end and, be that balance to what he does. That's
cool.
Yeah.
And then also, we've been doing those morning meetings now, and I think your chant is probably my favorite out of all of them, where we like go through and, we get everyone together at 9:05 here at Wake Up, and we kind of go, Matt goes CO, and then everyone's going to go, oh. What do you think about that?
It's fun. It just kind of rolls with it. It works, it's because what else can you really do with it after you've gotten that COO in there?
Oh, it's classic now.
Yeah, it's done. It's not changing.
It's set.
But it's hard sometimes because that meeting, you guys all have so much to put in, where you have the creativity, you got your schedule, you talk about who's coming in next and how it worked the day before. For me, it's more of, hey guys, did you clock in? Hey,
that's important stuff though.
Yeah, it's like, did you do your cordon U today? Did you do those sort of things where I'm checking in? But then that's ultimately the role, is overseeing and seeing how the businesses are rolling, and if you need help or if there's any weaknesses, where can you jump in and help and that sort of thing. But it definitely gets you hyped up for the morning for sure, because not everybody's a morning person, and I'll admit I'm not really a morning person. And hearing Matt yell, "Wake up!" I don't even think I can even do that like he does, because that's that's intense. But you can tell it pushes and motivates the team, and they are excited and they have more information to give. Like just hearing everything that everybody brings in, it's really cool. I mean, it's a very cool type of atmosphere. It's not a typical meeting where it's like, all right, let's go over these numbers, and it sounds boring. Yeah. It's not that. It's the energy, excitement. You start your day off right. Plus, I think the team everybody enjoys everybody's personalities and what they bring to the table, and it's just a fun environment. And you get your day started off right. Yeah,
get your day started off right. And, you mentioned that yours might not be as exciting as the rest. I feel like it's maybe more important than the rest, is my thought on that. Like if we don't have someone like you around, as you know, even with you around, I struggle with doing clocking in. I struggle with doing cordon U.
It's a weakness for everybody right now.
but you're there and you help us do all that. I mean, it's really valuable.
Yeah, and that's where I come into play for sure, because Matt, his attention to that isn't to the details, and it also helps you guys know, we can have fun, but at the same time, there's important things you have to do. You're being an adult. It's a work environment just like anything else. Yeah. Come in, clock in. What do you have for the day? And just roll with it. That's the expectations basically. It's hard because sometimes everybody's like, well, are you the fun one? Or I'm like, well, I do have
You're
fun at the
fine.
same time. It's like there's a person that's got to get done. So
Sure, it's
there's
a
good
business, right?
balance. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I totally get that. Yeah. So, how did you get linked up with Matt in the first place?
All right. So this actually goes back to 5.5 years ago.
Okay.
When I first moved to Pueblo, because we moved down from the Springs.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so I'm not a Pueblo native. Maybe now I could be called that. I've been here almost 6 years.
5 years you're
I'm
local.
getting there.
Yeah.
So we moved down here because of space. We linked up with one of our friend realtors and her husband. So we just loved having the space. Our kids could be kids. We can, we had almost 3 acres at our first house. So
Wow.
that was huge compared to the Springs where you have a patch of grass. At
Sure.
least for us, it was a patch of grass, so you can barely even throw a football. So coming down here, we were looking at homes, and one of the big things was in my fitness peak at that time, I was looking for a gym that had to be close to our house.
Gotcha.
So we found Snap, went in, had a tour, and just loved it because it was not even 4 miles from my house. So it was right up the road. And they were actually expanding, the first expansion that I knew of at the time, and they were creating the first child watch.
Oh, okay.
So they were getting that going, and of course I was kind of stalking the front desk hey, because I was out of work. I stayed home with my boys for about 8 years, and I was like, it's time for me to go back out and work because my background is actually management. So
Okay.
I did that all the way. At the age of 16, I was actually a manager at an Eckerd's, which is a pharmacy. It's like Walgreens, but in the South.
Wow. At 16, you were a
no,
manager.
Not yet.
Oh.
So not at 16 yet. I started working,
Gotcha.
but then I worked through my way through the business. I actually learned all the departments.
Wow.
And then by 21, I was actually the assistant manager, and then found one out here in the Springs. They were building them.
Wow.
So I actually put the store together and trained out in Aurora. So yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
So then that's my background
That's
a bit
awesome.
on that. And then, took a break from working because I had other jobs in between then. But
Yeah.
coming down to Pueblo, like I said, stalking the front desk, asking the guy that was actually there, he was our assistant at the time, Tyler. Cool dude, amazing. So I kept asking him, I was like, so what's going on with the child watch? Because, I was staying home for 8 years with kids. So
Yeah.
it's I could just jump into that, get my foot wet, instead of trying to go for a higher job, which I'm the type of person, you start at the bottom or wherever, and you work
your way up.
Yep, for sure. So I did that. And then finally they told me, apply, it's coming in closer. So of course I applied, and that time I met with Matt and the GM at that time, and I didn't know if I got the job because, first interview in years. So they called me back, and actually I started I think a month later.
Sweet.
So I did that for a year. During that time, watching some kids, and it was part-time just to get me back out of the house a little bit.
Yeah.
My kids were getting ready to go back to school. At least one was in school and one was almost to kindergarten. And so there was some downtime in there, and I did some research. Matt was like, hey, I'm looking to expand again, or to, enlarge the child watch itself.
Yeah.
So I actually took the time to do research, and I came to him a little bit later with a binder of information. And right then he looked it over, and he's like, actually, I think you're better in another position. So that's when I was offered the operations department.
Okay.
So I did that for, I believe, a couple years, and then worked my way through, doing the numbers and that sort of thing, and then became the CFO. I've done that for a couple years. And now, after everything else, I'm here at the COO position. So,
Wow.
yeah, I've gone through anything and everything that's gone with the businesses since I started with Matt almost 6 years ago.
So how many businesses would that be then over that time?
Let's see. It was Snap, Pure, Pueblo's Best, Handyman Service that he had, and then it jumped off to Snooze, and then to Wake Up. So this is the newest.
Newest.
That's
cool.
So it's fun. It's completely different than anything else because it's more of that creativity that, usually other businesses was like, okay, you look at the computer, you're pumping out whatever, numbers and information and all this stuff. And then when you come to this, it's just creativity. It's, you got it everywhere with the photography, podcasts. It's so much fun. And it's different from me. It's huge because it challenges me to learn something different than I'm like, because I love to be an artist. I draw or,
oh, cool.
Yeah, that I dabble in it. I haven't done it in a while.
Oh, I'm
I've
sure
been
it's
working
great.
so much, but but it's really fun to see the difference in all the businesses because it's not just you have some that's in fitness and then you have some in in this and this and this. So it's neat to see everything change and evolve, and then watch Matt and his businesses and how he does things. It's fun. It's challenging and it's rewarding, but then you see what it does for the community as well. Because, I mean, everybody knows his businesses or what he does for the community and that sort of thing. So it's been a fun journey.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So can you take me through your side of the story then of the start of Wake Up and all of the crazy circumstances involving that?
Okay. Yeah. My part wasn't actually involved until a bit later into it, because when the crew rolled in with cameras, I didn't know what to expect, because I'm like, well, who's rolling around with cameras when, I never saw Grant or that person. I just saw cameras. I'm like, well, they're doing a documentary on Pueblo. And I'm like, well, Matt would be the person because he knows everybody and was raised here. So he didn't think anything of it, but I never really had cameras around me too much.
Nice.
I'm more in the office, and, it's not really fun work when I'm on the computer, and, it's not exciting, like watching Matt go around in the town and do things. But then eventually it started becoming where it was like over at Snooze and that sort of thing. So it was more for the OGs of the marketing team.
Yeah, Paige and Meredith and Mia.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So they were doing that, and I would just, hey, do you guys need any help? Everything going all right? And that would be about it. And then when it became more involved with the financial department, when, it's time to do some different with payroll, we've got to get these accounts set up, or we have to do this, that's where I was pulled in a bit more. So then mine was more later, in that it was probably around August timeframe. It was after when they came back and they started getting the building. So cool. Then that's where I came in and like, well, what do we need to get for the building? What's going on? And I had a checklist actually. They may put it on there, I don't know, but I have a checklist of who we need to contact. Like, we need to contact our accountant. We need to, get this EIN number. And like, there's a way of doing it. And then all the way down to like merchandise if we wanted to go that route as well. Wow. So that was a big deal there. So it was like that was the more time I've seen Lewis at that time. And so, yeah, I mean, I was here hit and miss. I wasn't here full time. It was just whenever something needed to be done, paperwork wise, or someone needed to follow up on something, then they would reach out to me. But I was kind of more in the background, kind of doing the other grunt work in the back while everybody else is on camera. I'm like,
that's like that's the important stuff. That if you don't have that, the business falls apart, right? That's really important.
True, and it's different for me on camera because I'm not used to that. Because over at Snap and Snooze, there's not really a lot of cameras and that sort of thing. So here, it's way different. I mean, even being on social media, because when you're at other businesses, it's always, hey, don't have your phone with you, don't be on the phone, that sort of thing. Now it's
around here, we're on the phone all the time.
So that's a whole mind change for me too, because you're used to being that person like, hey, you're taking too long on the phone, what's going on? There's a member to take care of or something like that. And now it's just, when you have clients, that's what they're doing here at Wake Up is, all that stuff for them. So pretty neat. So I'm on there more, and I'm like, and I finally got LinkedIn, which
nice.
I know I got called out on that one, but
I didn't link mine for a while on accident. Yeah.
Well, I knew of it as, you do it for jobs. I'm like, well, I'm not looking for a job, so why do I need one? But then again, I know now it's more of a a networking system, and they do have fun on there. I mean, Matt shares family stuff, business stuff. It's what you do as a whole in your life. So I'm getting caught up on that. So nice. I mean, I don't do the TikTok thing. I mean, I'm barely on Snapchat.
Yeah, I don't do TikTok either. No.
My kids keep asking. I'm like, I don't know, probably not.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what was like while this is all going on, were you like surprised by how quickly this developed and like all of this crazy circumstances around Wake Up, or was it just kind of like, that's Matt Smith, stuff happens?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was leery. I'm like, why? Who is this person? Why do we have cameras rolling around? And is it real? What is behind this? And with everything else going on, I never actually like dove into it to find out. I'm like, well, if Matt says it's good and it's for the community, it's great, then you just trust Matt. So that was the thing, and it worked out. I think we're all excited for the end product. Yeah. We're all excited, and I think a little nervous as well. Just because you don't know, like you forget what
for the show
they have. Yeah. So we're all excited. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I only talked to Lewis, Grant Cardone, for only, I think I met him a couple times, and more conversation later on as it was starting to wrap up, when it was more involved, behind the scenes paperwork type of stuff. That's where I was like, okay, I'll see you more. And then it was normal to see him on a daily, or being here and then going back and forth to Snap and Snooze, because I still am working for all of them. So I'm like a little bit here and a little bit there. So, yeah.
That's cool. So what do you think about like the finished product and all of us, now that we're here at Wake Up, what do you think about where it's going, and what do you think about just Wake Up in general? Oh man, this whole team is amazing. It's fantastic. You guys have so much creativity and knowledge in this sort of thing. And then of course I felt like, like the oldest person, I'm like, I have no idea.
But it's fun to see everybody just pinging ideas off each other and watching something from a small idea become, the video that it is, and it's a powerful video. I know when Mia, Meredith, and Paige all did some videos for Snap before all this really took off.
Yeah.
They took our videos to a whole nother level, and it was powerful, and it pulled you in, and I'm like, that right there, that's what we're missing. We need that. And you guys bring that all the time here, and it's just fun to see you guys pushing the box and pushing the envelope to see what else can you do? What else is fun? And it's bringing the community together. So I think, and then the dynamics of each staff member is fun. Like you have some like that are just really outgoing, like Matt, like they're just full bore. And then like you and myself and, even the new crew, a little hesitant, more, introverts type of thing. And then we need our space. Because, there's, to be honest, like, there's some times where it's like there's so much going on. Like, all right, I need to like get in the office, close the door, and just focus. So I think there's a good balance between everybody. And I think it brings it out of some people that aren't as energetic as some. They kind of pull that out a little bit, where it's, it's fun to challenge yourself. But I think everybody just works well together. And it's just fun to see how the plans from one thing goes to the next, and it all works together. The story is coming to life, and just the visions that they have. And I just keep saying fun because this is such a fun atmosphere. It's not boring or mundane, and
doesn't feel like work, right?
No.
We're working, but it just doesn't feel like,
Yeah, so it's fun to watch everybody, and even the good banter back and forth. Everybody, you can tell everybody loves each other. It's a great work environment. I don't feel like there's anything negative to say about it. It's just, there's just a lot of love and fun, and it's just, like I always say, like each business, it's a family. So this is like the Wake Up family.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I'm glad to be a part of it. Yeah, just like what you said, though, like I think that there's a lot of different strengths that are addressed with the team, but then like you mentioned, I'm a little bit more on the introverted side myself, but I feel like I'm getting more and more comfortable with the group. I'm getting more and more extroverted with everybody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But like in the Miami trip, like I just got overwhelmed with it, just being around everybody for so long. And so I like went on a walk for a long time. And just like, I think that there's a lot of great, extroverts are fantastic, introverts are fantastic. And together as this team, I think that's just a perfect, like addressing everything type team.
I think we all balance each other out pretty well, where it's like, and I totally get it. When I knew that you were going on your like 4-hour walks, exaggerating a little bit there, but it was one of those things like you're with each other for so long, especially on a business trip where you're in the same vehicle or you're in the same classroom, wherever we were. Okay, we all are not around each other that much at work. Yeah. We all have space. And then when you're in the house with everyone, it's like, okay, I need a break.
Yeah, just give me a sec.
Yeah.
I love the group. Yeah.
I love everybody. Everybody is just, they're fantastic. And it was just, that was a good trip. That was a fun trip. That was, I think.
Yeah, tell me about that. What'd you think about that whole trip, everything?
Oh man. It was interesting because, even the late night flight, because that was a
overnighter. Flight. Yep, that was
That's what we left out at like midnight and didn't get there till about 6 a.m. I think.
Yeah, 6 a.m. local time. Yeah, that was a long flight.
Well, see, and I'm from Florida, so I'm used to humidity. Oh. So, but then you just forget because it was cold here. When we got there, you get smacked with that wall of humidity.
As soon as you go out the door.
I need another shower. But I think, because I've never been to Miami, so that was all new to me. But just the whole atmosphere, and then getting to see Cordon U and how they run and, how focused they are, but you could tell they have fun and they have their different departments that work well together. And, that whole thing, I feel like it was definitely an eye-opener for all of us because being part of what was going on here and getting to know Cordon, then seeing him in his element.
Seeing his team and everything.
Yeah, and how he does things. So I'm like, okay, backing it up a little bit. We get to see actually what's in his realm and that sort of, and what can we pull back and take it back to Wake Up. So, and then as for the team, I think it was a great team building trip. I think we all learned a lot about everyone. Between, like the different restaurants we ate at and what our eating habits were, to just watching how focused you guys got in that when we had the lessons on the different speakers that we had. So just with those different aspects of what to pull back, it was really cool to see everybody's take on it. Because then it was like, oh, that's my department. Ooh, what can I take from that? Ooh, that's new. I didn't know that. So it was just well-rounded, and I think, there's a lot that you can learn from Cordon U in itself and what they do. But as a team, I think it just made everybody stronger because then it solidified that this team is creative and will do anything and everything to bring a business's creation to life and tell the story. So it was just really fun to see. And then I think some of them went out and got footage of things around Miami. Got video and pictures and whatnot. I think you took one that was really cool.
I went and did a bunch of photos out there just because it was so beautiful. Yeah.
So that's the fun part. You take in whatever, and that's the eye, I think, of Wake Up itself. It's seeing the beauty of something that, nobody knows, or it could be just this wall of some sort of like graffiti, or it could just be a light or anything. It's just how they take it in and how they think of it. So it was really cool to see that part too. So
yeah, I mean, even on that trip, you mentioned like, you're not used to having cameras all over the place. I'm the same kind of way. But on that trip, Tyler and Jared and Mia, all them, you can tell they like live and breathe videography. Okay. And Chavez too, as well, all of them. But like, it's not work to them to do video. That was something that I just took away from that. I mean, those guys, wherever we were, they had their cameras with them and they were taking photos, taking videos just because it was fun and then putting it together.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a passion for them. It's them. That's when you think of Mia, I think of her camera. I think obviously, podcast for Ben. So it's just, or Midnight Ben, whatever we want to call
Midnight
it.
Ben.
Right? But yeah, I think it was, it really brought to life even more creativity, because then it's like you can think outside that box, and it's okay to do that. You're not stuck to one certain thing, which that is the fantastic part about this, because I mean, nothing, and just like it's not a stupid question.
Yeah.
Like everything is a piece of art. It's how you're interpreting it and how it's delivered, how you can kind of just play with the settings a little bit and you can change it up a little bit. So it's just really fun to see the dynamics of everything just come together, and then what is in someone else's mind, because I feel like there's so much there.
There's so much there. Yeah, I agree. And, we're really, really happy that you're a part of it, Erin. Like in terms of just in general, like you add so much to this team just in, providing that other half of it where, there's a lot of, creativity with like a lot of us. I feel like a lot of us are a lot like Matt, not to the extreme that Matt is, but, like just, energy, doing a lot of things, just going to this project. But, you need somebody to, this is what needs to get done. This is, keep everybody on track. And I think that's really, really valuable.
Yeah, there's a little more of an analytical side when it comes to that. I think there's a good balance where it's like you have that fun, creative side, but then there's also balance when it comes to a business, because we all still have those structures and, policies that we have to put in place to make sure the businesses do well.
Sure.
And then, if it doesn't work, all right, let's reevaluate and change it up. And how do we make it better? That's all we can do every day, is how do we make something better?
That's awesome. So Erin, how old are your kids?
So I have two boys. Oldest is 13 and the other one is 10. Actually, his birthday's in about 3 weeks. So
oh, wow.
11. Yeah. So no babies.
No babies. That's cool. That's a good age though.
Yeah. I'm a boy mom through and through for sure. So
how are they adjusting to the online school this year?
They don't really,
it's tough.
It's not fun for them. I mean, I don't think it's healthy for them. They're used to kids in general being around, having that interaction with other kids their age, and just having that class setting so that they can ask questions, or, they can get the help they need right away. Because sometimes, it's not always easy being on a Zoom call where,
sure,
you get 15 other kids in the class, or, but at the same time, it's also teaching them responsibility. Hey, you're accountable for your work, and it's just going to go with you throughout life. So it's teaching them things now that is valuable, obviously, for the rest of their life. But they're doing it. I mean, they're getting it done. I think today my youngest actually has a literacy testing, and they're going to be on a break, Christmas break. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they won't even go back to, they're supposed to go back to in-class learning on the 4th, I believe, of January.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're hoping.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah. So like what are your favorite things to do with your kids and with your family, Erin, outside of work?
Outside of work. Let's see. So we go traveling. We have a camper. We do like to go camping. We like little day trips, and sometimes we'll go to the springs just to go walk around, just to get out of the town a little bit.
Yeah.
And then more of even things at home. We have a go-kart, so they can.
You have a go-kart?
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Had two. Yeah. Yeah. Cause
Did one wreck?
No, we actually sold that off with our other house. We're like, we'll put that in there.
Oh, nice.
Extra. Because like I said, the other house had 3 acres. This one, I think we have a little over 2.5 acres.
Still, that's a lot. Yeah.
It's still a lot. Yeah. So we have that. What else do we do? I mean, it's just anything that we can, bike rides. We go for family walks. It's just anything and everything. We love watching movies together. More so like the Avengers type of thing. Like we
cool.
like superheroes, and
yeah.
like my oldest, he loves F1 cars, so he's big into that.
Those like the Italian like fancy cars, right?
Oh, yeah. And see, I'm opposite. I love muscle cars. So I like the,
He's for the sleek and you're going for the muscle on that.
Yeah, it's all power. I love it. And that's one of our things. Like we'll go to car shows or we'll go when they're open down to the track and I'll just sit there and watch cars race. Like we actually can get down into the pit sometimes.
Cool.
Because we have friends that also do that as well. So we can get closer to the cars. Maybe one day I'll actually get out there and race because that would be cool. Thing. I love doing that. I just want to go fast. It's just something about speed, it's just, so yeah, let's see, Liam, he is more of the go with the flow type of, just roll with it type of kid. The other one, Andrew's a little more, okay, I want to do this way and this way only. So it's fun to see the different personalities that they have and just everything is family related. I mean,
it's good
working on the cars or, like I said, and we have 2 dogs now. So it's like, I think we just got back from training. We send him off for 2 weeks.
Okay, gotcha.
He's a Dutch Shepherd, so he has a lot of energy, and so we have that dynamic. But yeah, usually if we can travel, we'll go back to Florida to visit family. We're going in the mountains, and it's just family is life. They're my world, and it's amazing to know that they're 13 and almost 11. So it's like, wow, I remember when you were babies.
You're making great memories with them.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
All the time. I mean, I'm always taking pictures of them, and just because, one day completely different than the next. I mean, they're constantly changing. But growing into the little young men, I would say, sometimes I feel like they're older than they are, like 13 going on 23, kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's fun. I mean, there's definitely, you have wonderful days, and then, being a parent, there's some hard days. I mean, it's not always fun and easy. If people think it is, then there's it's not always the case. Kids are kids, but especially with, COVID right now, you're trying to make it as fun as possible, not dwell on the negative because, you got some kids, either they get sick or they just, you can't visit and that sort of thing. So it's just finding those happy balances of like, let's all go outside, let's all go for a walk, or let's go for, just a ride. Because that's, Christmas is coming up. So, I mean, we're going around, our tradition is looking at Christmas lights.
Yeah.
I made cocoa and we drive around. And those are those things that our boys will remember, is those little activities. It's not what they have and the things, it's the memories and activities they do. So that's what we try to instill in them.
So you said that you travel back to Florida. Is your family like a drive kind of family or a fly kind of family?
I would love to fly every time. Usually we drive.
Okay.
And it's a 24-hour straight through type of drive.
Yeah.
We, of course, break it up. But, yeah, I mean, it's one of those, I love the beach. But then being here in Pueblo, I feel like I have both worlds, really. Because, you have the heat, and we live closer to the reservoir. So, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, you go to the water.
Yeah. And then we're on the boat as well. I forgot about that. Yeah, we do that in the summer. We go on the boat, go fishing, and that sort of thing. And I have a paddleboard.
Oh, cool.
So we try to be more active, and then when we visit family or a family comes out and visit us whenever they can, it's not always the case, but it's always nice to smell that salt air, and because both my family and my husband's family are all in the same place, so we grew up in the same town pretty much. So yeah, but yeah, it's good for the kids because they know mountains, they don't know the beach. Yeah. So now my oldest, he's like, well, I'm turning 18, I want to move to Florida.
Gotcha. Go for
it. I support you. Just got to make sure you got your head in the game and you can do it. So, yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean, my family's always been a drive kind of family because, we've also got family in Florida. So, northern part of Florida, that's where we always go.
Where from?
Pensacola is where we're at.
Panama City.
Okay. Yeah. What's that? That's a little bit further in, right?
Yeah, it's the upper panhandle.
Yeah, so it's a little bit further.
Pensacola, I think, is about 2 hours from them.
Yeah, so same kind of place. But, growing up, we always commuted. You drove all the way down, did that long drive through Dallas, and got over there, and I always remember that as a kid. My family, they're crazy though. We did one time we did a road trip. We used to live in Rye, so we went from Rye all the way up to Vermont, and then around and we went to Philadelphia, New York City, Washington D.C., Boston, but we drove everything, and then came back down, took a side trip into Iowa and Chicago, and it was I can't remember. It was like a 17-day trip, and I think we ended up spending 6 or 7 days driving.
That's the thing. You take forever to drive. You're like, well, can I just get there quicker?
Yeah, it's just.
But it's something about it.
It's a great memory, though. I love that.
Did you ever play games?
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. That's good.
Find this car. What tag did they have?
Yeah, punch your brother whenever you get that.
Punch buggy. Yeah.
Yep, that's the one.
we still play that, actually, or it's called Slug Bug, I think. Some people call it that. And we actually changed, me and the boys and my husband, we changed it up a little bit because you always see the bugs. Okay, let's try something different. Let's find Jeeps or find, Corvettes, because they have Corvettes. I'm like, all right. So we change it up where you have to find like a tag or something like that. But
yeah, we used to do the license plate one where if we're on a trip, we've got our list. And once you find one, you cross it off and you punch somebody. For me and my brother, we don't like punch my sister, but like you do that.
Well, how many
love boys. Yeah. You gotta love like little boys, like fighting all the time.
That's the thing, though. It's totally different because, like I said, boy mom. It's just you're rough and tough and greasy, dirty. I'm the type of mom where it's like, you know what, go put some dirt in it. You're fine. You're fine.
Walk it off.
Yeah, you're fine. Like, are you bleeding? No. Okay. So it's just one of those things, like, it toughened them up a little bit, but at the same time, they're like, yeah, I got that. It's okay.
Yeah.
They're fine. And they love just getting in there and building and that sort of thing. So
that's great. And how are they like in Pueblo compared to Springs?
I think they love it, actually.
Good.
They don't really remember the Springs too much because they were actually sense. Like, how old were they? Probably 7 and 4.
Oh, so yeah, they probably wouldn't remember it very well. Yeah.
Yeah. So they know Pueblo. They know being down here and having space and just being a kid. Because up there, I mean, for us, not everybody lives in the Springs. In our case, we had to take our kids to the park to go for bike rides or to go play on anything. And it was like, well, I want to be able to do that in my neighborhood and not worry about a car, zooming up the road. So that was a huge, huge deal for us, was for them to have that space and just. And then after a while, it's like we did so much in the Springs because we were always at Garden of the Gods, or we went up to Pikes Peak, and then there's a couple of places where we went hiking, and I'm not very good at all those things, but I mean, like saying where they are, my husband will tell me. And I'm just like, yeah, that's a great place. But yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things, like going out sightseeing and then just checking it out, because I love Garden of the Gods, especially when it's sunrise or sunset. It hits the mountains and those figures like the kissing camels just a certain way, and it's just. There's a lot of memories there because we used to take our family there when we pre-COVID and years ago. So there's always those things, like, we have those memories with the kids taking pictures with family members, and it's fun. I mean, I feel like, because we obviously raised them from Texas and they came up to here, but they evolve and they change and they adapt to everything that's thrown at them. So they do whatever they can. I mean, my oldest, he was in cross country.
Okay.
He had a little bit of a knee injury, so he took some time off from that. So now we're trying to figure out what sports and activities to get them into that they love, because they love playing golf. So that's another thing. So they play golf with their dad. We had them in some camps in the summer whenever they were allowed to. So, just those different things of helping them grow as humans and,
and I guess. Passion. Yeah. So if your oldest is 13, that means he's almost in high school, right? What grade would he be in?
Yes, he's an 8th grader.
So there you go, right on the edge.
Yeah, that's scary. It's crazy. But because one will be a freshman, and then my youngest, he'll be a 6th grader. So we'll have one going right in the middle school and one in the high school. And
so both making the transition.
Yep. But luckily they're in this one school they're in the charter school here.
Oh.
SCA. So.
Swallows? Is that this? Yeah. Okay.
So then they kind of stay all together. But then, the nice thing is, like, in high school they can take college classes, and which my son is all for. He's like, yeah, I could do that. And he doesn't know what he wants to do yet, but
sure. I don't think anybody did in 8th grade.
No,
that's fine.
We have some ideas, but it's like, it'll change 15 different times before then, it's normal.
Yeah. So what do you think is special about Pueblo? Let me ask you that question. I ask a lot of people that whenever they come into this.
Oh, that's a good one. I think it's the community to me. People that I've come across with and I've talked to, even, now that I'm thinking of the different businesses that the people I have met, they're just inviting, and they are so excited. I don't really hear much negativity, so it's more of like, oh, have you tried this? Hey, have you been down to the River Rock? Or have you tried this restaurant? And because we love, like, small business restaurants. Like, we all know the chains. Like, we all have gone to Wendy's and all that kind of stuff. But the local restaurants that you can tell that are family-based and it's their recipes, that's homey to me. That's the heart of it, because that's genuine, that's authentic, and the love of the green chili, that sort of thing, which granted I've only had once.
You've only had green chili once?
Yeah. So if anybody knows of any like good places, because I know Matt will tell me like other places, but I would love to know where the best is, because usually spice isn't my thing, but then I think as I have more spicy things, then I'm like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. That's really good. Like, I enjoy it. Like, I think the last time I had it, it could have been at Katz.
Okay.
Or no, maybe it was. So yeah, somewhere that you know of, let me know, because I'm all for trying it. I'm just like, but I love those small.
There's a lot of great chili places at Pueblo. But like here's the thing, hot take. I'm not the biggest fan of a slopper. Like that's the burger with the chili on it.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that's the Pueblo special. That's the best thing in Pueblo.
Is it not?
I'll tell everyone that a breakfast burrito with chili is the best combo. That's the best one. So, just to give a little shout out, the pantry is probably my favorite here in town for that. Like that's downtown. Like it's over on Abriendo, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should go check that out sometime for breakfast. But like they've got really good that. I can shout out a lot of places. Shamrock has great green chili mac and cheese that I eat all the time. Like
really, I've only had fish and chips there.
Yeah, I'm sure those are good too. That place, everything they make is good. But
Irish.
I feel like
Gotta love it.
I feel like that is for like a lot of these local places. Like, you come into Pueblo. At first, my family's reaction once we got here was, there's not really any great places to eat because we were originally from DFW. So we came from there, and there's just, a ton of, chains all over the place. Ate a lot of chains. Came out to Rye, and then you commute up to Pueblo, and you were like, there's barely any chains here. so we were like, there's nothing to eat in Pueblo, and so we kind of had that mentality for a long time. And then we moved up here to Pueblo whenever I went into college, and started trying places, and I'm like, wow, not bad, fantastic.
There's so many places that I feel like I've heard the names. I'm like, oh, I've never eaten there before. I need to. So like that's a thing. Like I said, we love the mom and pop, the family restaurants, just because there's so much love, and you can tell they put love in their food.
Yeah.
And I just love supporting, locals, just because, that's the heart of everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what is here in Pueblo, is the small businesses, and just it's the love of the community and what they bring to the table. Doesn't say I don't like the franchise foods, but I do. They're, Chick-fil-A especially is a weakness there. But
sure.
But yeah, I mean, I'd have to try pantry. Maybe we can do that for our burritos
this
week.
That's smart. Wow.
Maybe we should talk to Jenny.
Brilliant.
Because I need to try one of those. But yeah, I mean, it's just, and I think it's different parts of the town too, because like if I go like to Reservoir, it's just they smile, or you can tell they're out there to be, just enjoying the lake. And and then if you go on the Riverwalk, it's just fun to walk around and see the buildings. And I love the like old textured buildings.
Oh yeah.
Just even like here in Wake Up, it's the oldest building, or one of the oldest buildings. I don't want to say it's the only, but I think there's another one. But just the integrity of the building and the story and the history, I think that's the big thing, because I love that sort of thing. Like it's back in history. How did it change? What businesses came from it?
Yeah.
What is the story? That's the thing. Like there's so many different stories, because the generations here, those stories are being handed down. And I think it's just, like the Riverwalk, it's beautiful at night, it's calming, it's relaxing. And even with their businesses around it, like we've done it wasn't this year, obviously last year, but like the Riverwalk trunk or treat type of thing, or trick or treat thing. And it's just fun to see all the businesses come out and just have fun and do those things. Unfortunately with the COVID thing, a lot of that has gone to the back seat.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get
It'll
back
come
to
back.
that. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Just because I think that is the heart of the town, is you having all these different activities, and it's bringing all these businesses together, and people get to meet each other, and it's happy and exciting. And, that's my thing, especially with the kids too. Like they love seeing that stuff. And we try to keep those traditions going where, you enjoy those holidays and these activities, but then you go out and you're checking out new places, and,
Gotcha. A mix of tradition and a mix of new stuff coming out.
And it's excitement, and it's actual memories of doing stuff together as a family, or even, if they're playing sports, that whole thing is another memory.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I totally agree with you about like the older buildings and stuff here in Pueblo. I hadn't been downstairs in our building in a while. I don't think I'd seen it since I like did my first tour, and we just like peeked our head in.
Oh, in the basement?
Yeah. So I went in there. I don't think it's good. I think it's cool. Like I went in there, what was it, on Monday when we had Nick Donovan in. So Nick, Nick's a guy who's been in Pueblo for forever. So he's got stories for everything. So him and Matt and me were walking around down there, and there's that tunnel down there.
Yep.
The tunnel that they used to use for bootlegging alcohol back in the 1920s is what they think. So Nick was saying like, well, it's probably collapsed because, whenever they found these tunnels, the police would literally just throw a grenade in there, which was just like, what? So he thinks that's why that one was all collapsed. And, because we've got that tunnel in there that's like,
oh, that's a good
in front. Yeah, it just, interesting stuff. I think it would be fun to like see how far that goes before it opens into a real tunnel. But also, there's no way to do that safely. So I don't know if I'd like that idea as much.
Just hopefully you're not claustrophobic.
Yeah, 100-year-old tunnel.
I
I'll pass. I'll
put
let
a
someone else do it.
flashlight
I'll
in
look.
there. Yeah, no. Well, I mean, and there's so much. I mean, the way that the building was built, it's not the typical, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's more of like you could see the bricks laid there, and they're not even.
They're hand laid,
Yeah, and they're not flat. They're not smooth. I mean, you can just, there's the love that went into the building. It was so many man hours that built this, and there's so many little cutouts down there as well.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just, I'm like, was that a window or was that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like maybe the road. That's what Nick was talking about too. Like maybe after the flood, they raised the road, was what he was saying. So maybe that was at the level of the road. I don't know, but like just all that stuff is just interesting to think about for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this whole building, I think there's just so many stories, because I was kind of waiting to see if it was haunted, because that was my like, I wonder if it is.
It might be. Who knows?
Yeah, well, when Chavez and Tyler stayed here the other night.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, I'm like,
did you
guys hear anything? Like, did you guys get footage? Because that's one of my weird quirk things. Like, I can watch some of those like ghost stories. Like, they're kind of cheesy. You wonder if it was just fake, but you wonder some of those buildings, how real some of those stories are. I can't watch it at night. That's for sure. I'm like, I watch it during the day.
You gotta watch it during the day and be like, it's just a story.
I become a weenie when it comes to that, but yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff to this building, and just here in Pueblo in itself.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on, Erin. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I think we're all really, really happy that you're a part of our team, and we can't wait to see what we do in the future, and what you do as well with all the businesses and everything. And we're really glad you're plugged in.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Yeah, and Erin was on there. It was like my first podcast. You just killed it.
Hey, maybe I'll do some more.
Yeah, maybe you should do some more. I'm with you. Cool. Well, hey, thank you so much for listening. This has been the Wake Up Podcast. Go check out last week's episode with J-Rod, our TikTok videographer, as well as a few of our previous episodes. We've gotten everyone on the team on just about. We've only got a few people left. Probably get Paige in next week. And we're just going to keep working through. And we appreciate you listening. Have a great rest of your day. Check out Wake Up Pueblo. Check out Snooze Mattress. Check out Snap Fitness. Go check out all of our stuff. Give us all the plugs. Go see everything. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.